نحمده تعالى ونستغفره ونستهديه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له، ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، ونشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله أرسله الله تعالى بالهدى ودين الحق ليظهره على الدين كله ولو كره الكافرون. نحمده تعالى على نعمائه لا نحصي ثناء عليه، وكما أثنى على نفسه أو أثنى عليه رسوله عليه الصلاة والسلام. نشكره ولا نكفره، نؤمن به ونتوكل عليه، هو مولانا وعلى الله فليتوكل المؤمنون. ثم أما بعد، أحبتي في الله. I'm going to create a scenario that I hope and pray that you'll follow me step by step. Moments where we allow our minds and hearts connect and visualize what I will end up saying. You have an enemy. You and I have a mutual enemy that has dedicated himself to go after you, to attack you, to deceive you, to mislead you. You, to him, is the cause of his demise. Because of you, he assumes he is forever cursed and forever doomed. And for that, he also sees you, that you have taken his place in favor. And in return, he has become the pinnacle of hate and anger and betrayal and everything that comes with the negativity of an individual that cannot love or like or care. He swore and took an oath on himself from the moment you existed, from the moment he was cursed, in his opinion, because of you and I, by saying, لآتينهم من بين أيديهم ومن خلفهم وعن أيمانهم وعن شمائلهم ولا تجد أكثرهم شاكرين. He had said it to the one that created, فبعزتك لأغوينهم أجمعين. If you try to balance the two camps, yours as well as his, he has more experience and far more than knowledge than you and I have. The majority of us don't even tend to read, forget, remember. Our guards, most of the time, are let down. And the warning light for many has been burnt, and for the lucky ones is dim. His allies are many. Some of his allies are within us. There's a nafs al-lawama wa nafs al-ammara bis-su. That's within you. At times they align with him. Sometimes your greed, your desires, your lust. And like I said, the majority of times our ignorance allow him to penetrate into our souls. And then there's that constant whispering of his children in our ears, trying to deceive us. He was successful at the beginning and will continue being successful till the end. ما نهاكما ربكما عن تلكما الشجرة إلا أن تكونا ملكين أو تكونا من الخالدين وقاسمهما إني لكما لمن الناصحين. If that was his situation with Adam alayhi salam and Hawa, imagine the chances of our success to face an enemy of such skills. His allies that surround us are countless. Your best friend might just be one of those. Your neighbor, a parent, even a child, at times align themselves against us. أموالكم وأولادكم عدو لكم. That's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have said. Every single day, you are at odds, if not at war. What's our preparation? Moments of remembrance. Moments that we give each day, and for some, bi-weekly basis. If this relationship with the shaitan have been described by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by saying, إِنَّ الشَّيْطَانَ لَكُمْ عَدُوٌّ فَاتَّخِذُوهُ عَدُوًّا. How can you relax from your enemy? How can you sit back and assume that he's sitting back? How can you forget when he never forgets? How can you assume that today is a relaxing day? Al-Imam Ahmad, at the moments that he's dying, the shaitan comes to him, whispers into his ears, saying, Ya Imam, you have defeated me. Ya Imam, you have defeated me. In his reply, quickly and swiftly, not yet, not yet. Because as long as your soul is still in your body, there's an opportunity and a chance you will fail. And all you need to do is read Surah Al-Hashr. كَمَثَلِ الشَّيْطَانِ إِذْ قَالَ لِلْإِنسَانِ كْفُرْ فَلَمَّا كَفَرْ قال إني بريء منك إني أخاف الله رب العالمين. A pious, religious individual ended up committing the ultimate kufr. There was no pause. And if I can allow you to quickly move in time, the possibility of a failure and a defeat is a scenario that you and I cannot put ourselves in. Painful death. Long-lasting, punishing life in the grave. A ditch of hell, if I might say. It's a resurrection that has regrets, to where many might say on that day, يا ليتني كنت ترابا رب ارجعون لعلي أعمل صالحا فيما ترك. Heated sun over the heads, cries and screams all over the land. Families reject each other. Friends deny each other. يوم يفر المرء من أخيه وأمه وأبيه وصاحبته وبنيه لكل امرئ منهم يومئذ شأن يغنيه. Nothing has value that day whatsoever. It is all about you, and you only in your own selfishness, that you allowed that selfishness in this dunya to deceive you. You allowed your ignorance in this dunya to fail you. You allowed yourself to stand on that day, Yawm al-Qiyamah, when you have no one, and you would assume and wish and pray that you would own the world to give it up. And يفتدي يومئذ ببنيه, all of them. وصاحبته وأخيه ومن في الأرض جميعا ثم ينجيه. Can you just Allow yourself just to vision a moment of stance where there's no one whatsoever with you. There's no one whatsoever that hears you except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you're on your own. And you're on your own. What happens there cannot even be imagined. The questions that can be in front of you cannot even be thought of. What you forgot, you will remember. What you prayed that was not documented is there to be presented. اقرأ كتابك كفى بنفسك اليوم عليك حسيبا. Where will you go then? Not mentioning if that failure continues and your feet still slips, then it's a fall. It's a deep fall. A fall from a bridge that you can't barely see to a depth that minds can't even reach in thought. Then a life without no ending. Hopeful endings but none. Wishful endings for never. It's all about fire or freeze. It's about climb or fall. It's about running or drown. It's about screams or intestines coming out. It's about thorns or liquids from prostitutes. It's about a life that you scream and wish to see an end. Ya Malik! Ya Malik! ليقضي علينا ربك. قال إنكم ماكثون. You're there to stay. You're there to stay. But if we just sit back a little and try to remember the reality of this dunya and the reality of that relationship that I just grimly mentioned, then maybe then we can remember that if we aligned ourselves with the most powerful alliance that the shaitan does not have, because his alliance might be many, but ours are powerful. If we depend on the protection of the one that protects, then we will remember that his plotting is weak. إن كيد الشيطان كان ضعيفا. If we reflect and resemble the people that sat around the Rasul ﷺ to sit with us, then they will support and help us to where we can put away those who deceive. If we allow our hearts to be nurtured with the Quran, nurtured with the Quran al-Kareem, and to feed it continuously with the Sunnah of the Rasul ﷺ, then maybe we'll never go astray. Because the Rasul ﷺ have said, I have left behind me two sources. If you are to hold on to them, you will never go astray. There's only two ways. And I will present them to you in two scenarios, and it's your choice to see where you want to stand. The one or the latter that I just started mentioning. Because it's فريق في الجنة أو فريق في السعير. فمن شاء فليؤمن ومن شاء فليكفر. And if chose the latter one, then imagine you will have enlightenments in your life. You will walk and see what's in front of you. You will assume that light to guide you. He won't be able to turn off that light that he said from front and back, because Allah Ta'ala will placed in front of you نورا من بين أيدينا ونورا من خلفنا ونورا عن أيماننا ونورا عن شمائلنا. And never we will be betrayed from above, and never we will find our feet slip to fall from below. That will not happen. You would not need to worry the moments of your death, because it is the last painful moment that you will taste. You will have a grave that's a garden, that you will feed within it what you will be fed in Jannah. You will see your stance in paradise. You will see your home, your parents. You will see, probably if they follow you, you will see your wife in there, your children. You will see all while you're still resting in your grave. You would be praying, oh Allah, bring that day that you will question me, because I know I will be successful. I have seen my place in Jannah. Your resurrecting on the day of judgment, your resurrection on the day of judgment will be a pleasant one. Hopefully, for all of us, a shaded one. A moment that you will find yourself behind the banner of the Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. A moment that you will hear Allah Subhanahu Wa Ta'ala will tell you that I have forgiven you in the dunya, and I will certainly forgive you in this dunya, in this life. You won't worry about the narrowness of the bridge, because you will find that light to guide you across. And Allah Ta'ala will be there, or maybe the Quran will hold your hands to cross the bridge with you. You won't be amongst those that would cry out, Druna naqtabis min nurikum, because it is your nur. You won't need to wish to go back, like it was said to them. You won't need that. If you play the game right and you prepare yourself correctly, then the Quran al-Kareem will speak on behalf of you, and you don't need to. Maybe Surah Tabarak will say, I will not budge until I take him to Jannah. Maybe Surah Al-Baqarah will not stop until it takes you into paradise. Maybe on the other side of that bridge, brothers and sisters, Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam will be waiting for you. And in his hands, your drink, that you'll never feel thirsty after it again. Maybe. If your night is awakened with the remembrance of Allah Ta'ala, and your day is protected with the remembrance of Allah Subhanahu Wa Ta'ala, maybe the gates of Jannah will enter, and never again you will feel the pain or sadness. Never again the concerns and worries. Never again the questions, or never even again you will need to pray. You will never feel the merger of sweetness with bitter. It will always be sweet and tender. Just close your eyes and vision a home that's made of gold or silver, a garden full of pearls and emeralds, rivers flowing under your castle. Your clothes is at your door from a tree. And can you just imagine a fruit that you hold in your hands, if it's in this dunya, can feed a group? Can you just imagine if you succeed with little efforts of this dunya and attention of your enemy? Can you imagine every Friday the one that speaks to you is Allah Subhanahu Wa Ta'ala himself? Just the thought that he will tell you, after today, I will never be upset or angry at you again. What would you pay for that? What would that matter to you? Please move forward and do not leave a gap, inshallah. It's a simple formula for those that Allah Subhanahu Wa Ta'ala have allowed them to open their hearts, because it starts with you. Listen to this. It starts with you. فَمَن يُرِدِ اللَّهُ أَن يَهْدِيَهُ يَشْرَحْ صَدْرَهُ لِلْإِسْلَامِ ومن يرد أن يضله يجعل صدره ضيقا حرجا كأنما يصعد في السماء. So it starts with you. A little of purity, a little of innocence, a little of clarity, and a receptive heart. Then it's a place where your eyes have not seen yet, your ears have not heard yet, and you cannot even think of. A little of that for a lot of that. A little in this dunya for خالدين فيها ما دامت السماوات والأرض إلا ما شاء ربك عطاء غير مجذوذ. You do the calculation, you do the question, and within you find the answer. أسأل الله لي ولكم التوفيق والسداد. أقول ما تسمعون وأستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. إن الحمد لله نحمده تعالى ونستغفره ونستهديه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له ثم أما بعد. I created two images. Hopefully both have penetrated into our hearts because they're reality, they're the truth. There's no doubt about them. I mean, we have no doubt whatsoever that what I have said will eventually happen sooner than later. إنهم يرونه بعيدا ونراه قريبا. And regardless of how long you live, it's not enough of a time for you to sacrifice the hereafter, because قال كم لبثتم في الأرض عدد سنين قالوا لبثنا يوما أو بعض يوم فاسأل العادين. You won't even be able to calculate. And believe me, whatever you have is not pure joy. Yesterday and today, this community celebrates a wedding for a man of their own. It was a beautiful evening last night where many had the joy in their hearts and they jumped up and down in circles and dancing and enjoy. The smile on the face of the groom would not go away. And everybody wanted to rub their shoulders next to the groom and take a picture so they can remember a moment of celebration. After this Jum'ah, all of you will be invited to attend to celebrate with the family of Abu Wadah and the groom Kamal, as well as his bride. But regardless of what you remember of joy, regardless of what you remember of happiness, regardless of what you remember of success, regardless of what you remember of what you have possessed, none of it comes pure without pain. None. The sweetest taste of food comes with the risk. Your success of jobs comes with lack of sleep. And the growth of your family comes with this responsibility. You want to free yourself from all of that, then work yourself as hard as you can for the moment that at that day you will eat without hunger and drink without thirst. And you'll not see a heat that will bother you or a cold that will shiver you. And you will have a family that will only serve you. It is all there for you for the taking or for you to be taken. This place, I'm extremely amazed and at awe. And I'm honored that I have the opportunity to talk today to you in a masjid that I assume the future only sees brightness and the limit is the sky for it. It needs your unity to be together, your hands to be held, your shoulders next to each other, and your hearts open for each other. Critiques is not a shame. Criticism should only come in the sense of building. Those who are in leadership, they're only told and called as leaders, and their responsibility is to lead. And that's what it's called. And you only lead by the acceptance of those who are led. The community of Nashville is an amazing community that I spent many of my precious years in this city. And forever, I will always carry it for me. And forever, I look forward to coming to it. But never I imagined such a success or a change. My prayers goes for those who put their heart and sweat and blood into this. And if I am to advise, the journey is not over, and the ditches are many, and the thorns are quite few. And those who will pull you back are probably more stronger or more in numbers than those who will encourage you forward. But never the wind will bring the fate of the sailing ship that has a good guide and a well-known captain. Keep it up, and maybe one day this community will be a place where everyone wants to head. And then maybe your pennies that you put can be that castle in Jannah that waits you. And the families that you deserted to put your efforts into this place are those that you will carry with you to reside in Jannah next to you. All comes to إنما هي أعمالكم أحصيها لكم فمن وجد خيرا فليحمد الله ومن وجد غير ذلك فلا يلومن إلا نفسه. اللهم لا تدع لنا ذنبا إلا غفرته ولا هما إلا فرجته ولا دينا إلا قضيته ولا حاجة من حوائج الدنيا والآخرة هي لك رضا ولنا فيها صلاحا إلا أعنتنا على قضائها ويسرتها برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم اجعل خير أيامنا يوم لقياك وخير أعمالنا خواتمها. اللهم يا قوي يا عزيز انصر إخواننا في سوريا. اللهم انصر إخواننا في سوريا. اللهم احفظهم بحفظك واكلأهم برعايتك. اللهم عليك بأعدائهم وأعداء هذا الدين. اللهم وحد صفوف إخواننا في مصر وفي تونس وفي ليبيا وفي اليمن، ووحد صفوف المؤمنين والمسلمين في كل مكان. اللهم اجعلنا خيرا لهذا الدين. اللهم اجعلنا خيرا لهذا الدين. اللهم اجعلنا خيرا لهذا الدين، واجعل هذا الدين خيرا لنا في الآخرة يا رب العالمين. اعلموا أحبتي في الله أن الله تعالى يقول إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. ثم اعلموا أن الله تعالى يقول إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. فاذكروا الله العظيم الجليل يذكركم واشكروه على نعمه يزدكم ولذكر الله أكبر والله أعلم ما تصنعون.